Welcome once again, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kibicho YouTube channel. Today, I want us to discuss about keeping our eyes to the goal. Most of the times, most of us people who are trying to make ends meet, sometimes we get confused by the number of things that do come into our mental frame. More often than not, most of us people, we think that success comes either by only contemplating without putting the right infrastructure in place. We must know that if you find somebody succeeding in life, there is something that he is doing that majority of us people are not doing. When you find somebody owning a new car and he's not a thief and he has not embezzled from the public coffers, this something that he's doing in terms of managing his resources, managing resources here, which includes time, which includes what we call efficiency and effectiveness, and proper administration of those resources. So we should not think that those people who succeed, they succeed because of where they come from. Fine, coming from, maybe it may contribute slightly towards one's success, but more often than not, personal initiative becomes the most important ingredient in one's success. I normally give people an example of a student who spends most of his time reading in class and the other one who keeps on roaming. The one who spends a lot of time reading, of course, is what we call the skewness. The grade that one gets is purely dependent on the number of hours that one spends reading and, of course, doing what we call research and trying to exercise whatever one has learned, either through making small notes or, if it is mathematics, doing some calculations. And I've been urging my friends wherever I go that no pain, no gain. We must learn to go through pain to gain. Majority of us, we expect to gain, but we do not like going through pain. Success is not an event. Success is a process. And this process has got what we call some turbulent moments. It has got some very, very painful moments. But those people who actually persist, and those people who continually keep their eyes on the ball normally become the winners. Majority of us people, when we experience some real pain, we run away from the focus and the goals that we had set. I'm telling you, success is not a walk in the park. Success requires commitment. Success requires a lot of dedication. It requires a lot of discipline, and over and above all, self-awareness. Most of us people, we wake up one morning and envisage things that we may want to have in life, but there is no way those things will happen to us in a miraculous way. There's something that is expected of us, and I'm going to highlight a few things that makes people to succeed in their lives. Number one, they avoid what we call interruption. Interruption is a distortion of one's mind and one's presence in pursuing what one has set to achieve. So you should always avoid what we call disruption along the way. Number two is what we call focus. You must be focused. Sometimes people get to have their attention deviated by things that don't add value. So there are those people who make noise along the way, and I'm going to persuade you and to actually stop listening to those voices that do not augur well or that do not add any value towards the realization of the goal that you have set to achieve. The other thing that you require in life is what we call discipline. There is nothing in this world of God that can be achieved without discipline. It takes discipline. Discipline is key. It is a very, very integral ingredient that makes people to succeed in their lives. Discipline means, yes, you may find some people doing what seems to please them, but because it is not part of the agenda of your life, you do not join that bandwagon. You do not join that particular cohort. What you basically do is that you assume that was only what we call a bump, which does not define your destination. A bump only tells you to be more careful as you proceed on with your journey. The other thing besides discipline is what we call attention. You must pay full attention to what you want to achieve in life. Some people lose what we call attention. They are not attentive, because by paying attention or becoming attentive, it makes you aware and makes you awake of what it is that is required of you to be able to pursue your goal. The other thing is what we call becoming tenacious. You must have tenacity. Tenacity is that ability of even withstanding what we call sometimes very uncomfortable grounds for you. In order for you to go to the desired destination, sometimes it will call upon you bearing the pain. And remember, the pain that you go through becomes a constant reminder of your destination. So do not avoid pain. You must always keep your eyes fixed to the goal. And something else that you require in order for you to succeed and to go to your level of your determination is something called time management. God has given all of us 24 hours within a day, but what you do within 24 hours determines whom you become. Some people, they get engrossed in other things that do not add value to them. Some people normally deviate from their course. Some people get disrupted along the way because they do not have what we call the oomph. They do not have the zeal, the vigor. They do not have what we call the urge and the desire to go to the intended destination. One of the things that will keep you glued to your focus or to your goal is by realizing what it will give, or the fruits that lies ahead of you once you achieve that particular dream. And I remember when I was pursuing my doctorate, it was not a walk in the park. Some areas were so difficult for me. Some areas, I even personally, despite my strong resolve, I almost felt that I could drop out of the way. But I kept on, I kept walking, I kept moving on, I kept pushing on. And in the fullness of time, I became the doctor I am today. So one of the things that you must remember is efficiency use of time. You must learn to manage your time properly. And management of time means you should know where you should be at any given time. You should therefore not you should not encourage, or you should not even have what we call company of people who do not seem to know where they are going, because it will make you lose the compass of your life. The other thing is, put God first. In everything that you do, God should reign supreme. In fact, your existence, your presence in this cosmopolitan cosmogon called Earth has been because of God. We are because He is. And therefore, one of the things, and that's why the Bible says, commit your plans unto God and they'll come to pass. And we normally say, many are the plans in a man's heart, but the one that prevails comes from the Lord. So you need to commit God into your plans. You need to incorporate God in your projects. Another thing that you must also remember is to always equate the dream that you have with the resources that you think you have. Sometimes people tend to think of greater things in their lives. And let me tell you, the moment you set a dream which you're not able to achieve, that one may start now bringing in some elements of health issues. So why? Because you have already set the dream, or you have already set the goal which is not corresponding with the resources that you have at your disposal. So as much as we want to think big, we say think big but start small. So one of the things that you must endeavor to do is to ensure that the resources that we have will correspond with the dreams that we have set, or the objectives that we have set to achieve in our lives. And the other ingredient that will make us people to go to the intended place is fear of failure. Fear of failure means when you become aware of what you have set to achieve, and when you look at the benefits that will arise therefrom, you therefore say failure is just a product of an attempt made, and therefore you have nothing to fear. Never fear, because the moment you fear, you remain in the status of inertia. And one man by the name Dr. Miles Monroe, may he rest in peace, he used to say that the greatest tragedy in people's lives is not only death, but remaining in the status of inertia. You've been told, on to your marks, set. Instead of you going, you find yourself sitting down. Sitting down does not make the journey lesser. Therefore, I would urge all of you people who watch me on my YouTube channel to remember to never to fear failure. Never fear failure. And of course, those people who succeed in life, they're the ones who dared in their lives. When you're starting something, people will always laugh at you. But I have been telling people that what is popular today was one day unpopular. And sometimes I look at this lady called Madam Tabitha Karanja of Kerosha Industries. She has gone through thick and thick. She has gone through hell, thin and thick. And over and above all, she has remained focused. And she's still in that competition. Despite her coming across so many barriers, obstacles, she has remained steadfast. She has remained glued to her focus. And that is what has kept her to remain in business. Business means going through rough times. Business means sometimes experiencing very bad life, and other sometimes meaning that you have to succeed through use of what we call now faith. And faith basically adds up to what we call your dream. And therefore, I urge all of you people watching me on my YouTube channel to ensure that you keep your eyes glued to your dream. Never, ever give up. Never despair. Always remember, it can be done if you play your part. And something else I want to remind you about is that all what we see in this world of God is because some people dared to do. When you hear somebody having climbed Mount Everest, there was no other person who had done it before, but somebody decided to do things out of the out of ordinary. When you hear the first heart surgery, somebody offered to do it. There was no point of reference. But out of that first attempt, he made it possible for those other successive surgeries that have been done. If you hear the first kidney transplant, there was that first kidney transplant that was done. So everything has a beginning, and therefore, even us, does not matter how rough the route or the load that you have taken may appear to be. But one of the things that will make us people to move on is by having being tenacious, by being resilient, and appreciating that the world has no space for those people who fear. Life, once again, is a daring adventure or nothing at all. You either find a way or make one. And deep within men and women lies slumbering powers. Powers that can revolutionize the entire globe if only put into action. And whoever built the Titanic, there was no other Titanic before, but him, the first Titanic was made. And this is what makes me happy today when I say it can be done if all of us play our part. Do not listen to those people who are called negative-minded characters. Those are the people who are dream killers. They are the assassinators of dreams. And this is why I say, do not go telling people what you can do. Do to them, and then the results prove to them that it can be done. As a matter of fact, if you go sharing your dreams with people, they'll emerge the greatest assassinators of your dreams. So I wish you the very best, more so in the year 2022. You have made many attempts in the past, don't you worry. Even Ferdinando Manyara, the one that we are talking about right now as the #1 Africa fastest 100 meter sprinter, or the #8 global in terms of 100 meters, he had made other attempts. But the moment he realized that the speed he was using at rugby can also be translated into 100 meters, he became the person he is today. The world is waiting for people who dare. The world is giving us platform for those people who can do things out of the ordinary. I thank God for this man called Vasco da Gama. He had no uncle in Maridi, yet he came and he made history. That's why we understand about Mr. Vasco da Gama. It is not that they had not fallen any other fruits when this man of God called Isaac Newton came with the law of gravity. It is because he decided not to consume the fruit, but he came up with what we call the theory of gravity that gave birth to those aircrafts that defy gravity. Archimedes was not the first one to take a shower, but he took a bit of time to ask himself and to interrogate what made that water to get dispersed. And he came up with what we call the theory, the Archimedes principle, that the amount of water displaced equals the volume of the object. What will you have made during your time in this world of God? I am one person who believes God created me with innate potential that once I convert it into kinetic energy, I'll leave a mark in this world of God, which I'm doing now. And that is why I decided to come up with what we call Quest Pinnacle Investment Ventures Limited, the platform that will propel me to heights never experienced. And I know in the fullness of time, those people who have done what I have told them to do, they will have a reason to smile. Let me tell you, there are those who thought it was difficult to start saving their 16,000 shillings, but now they have a testimony that they have been able to save the 16,000 shillings and they are still moving on, and life has not taken a nosedive because they joined Quest Pinnacle Investment Ventures Limited. To all those people who believe in me, let's move on, let's keep talking. It ain't over until it is over, and I believe in the fullness of time, we shall have a reason to smile. I thank God for you. I wish you a very, very productive 2022. Dare to dream. Dare to dream. Think big, start small, and always make sure that you keep track of what you're doing, because it is by keeping track of what you're doing that you can be able to get the progress report that tells you whether you're doing well or not. And with those few remarks, thank you so much from the platform, from the desk of the chairman and the founder of Quest Pinnacle Investment Ventures Limited. Mine is to wish you a prosperous 2022 full of God's blessings. For those people who had no money for December holidays, let us start now putting money aside right now in the month of December. The countdown has started. Do not keep on neglecting, because this man called Sir Albert Einstein said the greatest form of madness is doing the same thing, same way, year in, year out, expecting different results. You have not been taking your family out. You have not even paid school fees for your children. You are even now wondering what will happen to them. You knew for sure school fees was to be paid. That is now exhibiting your arrogance and ignorance of first class. Let us not become victims of circumstances, because circumstances should not make us to be the people we are, but should make circumstances to be subservient to us. With those many remarks, once again, I wish you a prosperous 2022 full of God's blessings. Thank you and God bless. Shalom, shalom, shalom.